The Ancients' World. Chapter 301, The Play 2. I follow Sally out of the restaurant, and I can wholeheartedly say that I'm completely stuffed. The food was delicious, and I think we both really needed something to get our energy levels up. What do you want to do now? We have all day until the play tonight, and I know that we talked about doing nothing, but we're already out. Sally and I change plans on the fly, and this is one of those situations. I wouldn't mind doing something fun, and if I remember correctly, there's a dungeon nearby with some pretty decent rewards. On the other hand, we're taking a break. It's not a break if you're doing something like clearing a dungeon. I honestly don't know, Sally, we've been so busy. We don't know what to do now that we have some downtime. This has only happened a few times. For me, at least, Sally could have better ideas than me. I know a lot about the Ancients' World, but she'll know day-to-day fun activities as an NPC. I wouldn't mind going fishing for a change. It's something I did to survive after I escaped. It was peaceful. I can get down with that, and I'm perfectly fine with fishing. I don't know how to fish, so I'm looking forward to it. The water was always too polluted to fish, let alone learn. Do you mind teaching me how? She looks at me with an eyebrow raised, looking for an explanation. I never learned how to fish. Earth was too polluted for any of that. Her lips sink into a slight frown, and she moves closer. She wraps her arms around me and places her ear on my chest. I'll teach you everything I know about fishing. You do know we need fishing poles, right? Fishing poles? What the heck are fishing poles? Sally takes my silence as a sign I don't know what she's talking about. She pulls away and looks into my eyes. Knowing her, she's trying to find the simplest way to explain it. A fishing pole is a tool used to get fish out of the water without getting wet yourself. Once we get the fishing gear, I'll show you. That sounds like an awesome way to get a fish. Most marine species had died long before I was born. She grabs my hand and starts pulling me with her to the shopping district. POV, Salyandra Orvalo. Location, outside the city near a river. Time, 9:45 a.m. My laughter bursts forth as Sarah tries to untangle the string from the wooden reel. His cheeks are getting rosier by the second. This is the worst. He swings the pole around violently in a fit of frustration and rage. He drops the pole on the ground and takes the witness out as he turns. He heads straight for a tree and attacks it. It doesn't stand a chance, and my laughter rings through the beautiful landscape. Sarah Semir, I gently call his name in a smooth tone to ease his current anger. He sheaths the sword and turns to me. His black hair is a mess, and his amazing eyes are squinting. He releases a sigh and makes his way over to me. He stands next to me, and I grab his hand. I place it on my fishing pole and look at him. Relax, the hard part isn't managing the string. It's making sure your cast is good. This is all my personal experience. How I've come to enjoy fishing and how I learned it. I stand behind him and use his arm to practice the movement and get him used to it. After a few tries on his own, he gets the cast out, and it's in the water. He looks at me and is smiling ear to ear. If it weren't for you, I'd have quit this 20 minutes ago. My giggle makes him blush just a little bit. I walk around him and pick up the fishing pole he abused. I untangle the string and fix the reel. As I look at him, he has a rather funny look at how easy it was for me. I walk back and stand next to him, not casting the line out quite yet. You know, Sarah, this is something that a lot of people do here. Many couples spend time doing things like this. For them, it's providing food. Fishing poles are one of the best things we have for lots of people. He stays silent and stares into the water. The world he comes from is full of technological marvels and things that are only dreamed in the minds of gods. It's nice, I'll admit, being out here with you and learning something common here. I'm glad that we have this vacation. He's slowly warming up to it. Once he gets used to fishing, I think it'll be something he does any chance he'll get. POV, King Jackson. Location, capital city Belvia. Time, 12:16 p.m. I feel bad for the prince, inheriting his father's throne this way. I should call him king now. I should be glad I didn't ascend the way he did. Although many nobles still resent me for jumping from Baron of Blue Grass to King of Zenith. This meeting is to discuss the terms of surrender and what Belvia is giving up. A noble on Belvia's side starts to speak. The tension is high in the room. I can feel it. I'll start by saying that we have no intention of becoming a part of the Zenith Kingdom. Belvia is intent on staying independent. I look at the noble and release a sigh. I understand wanting to keep things the way they are, but I'll be taking vast amounts of land if they'll not become a part of Zenith. They're not going to like what I'm about to say. I'm afraid that if you don't want to be a part of Zenith, we're going to take all the land east of Nervander, making it the land of Zenith. My words cut deep into the hearts and minds of Belvians surrounding this table. It's almost a sad sight, but this is what war brings. The victory gets the spoils. This is the best option they have, and the lands east of Nervander are the best the kingdom has for farming and infrastructure. You can't be serious, that's too much to ask for. A general on the other side of the table stands up and is looking severely sleep-deprived. That land is Belvia's last hope after this war. That's not my problem. If they decided to become a part of Zenith, it would be my problem, but since they stay independent, I can make any demands I want. This is the best offer it's going to be for Belvia. You've lost this war, and everything is in my power. I'll allow you to stay independent, but I want what's owed to me. For my wife's suffering. Heads lower across the room. While my wife is unharmed, this war was because of the attacks in my kingdom, in my palace, on my wife. I'll give you 5 days to consult with your nobles on who gets what after we take the land east of Nervander. After that, final discussions will begin. I stand up from the table, and so do my generals and commanders. This is going to be fantastic for my people and the future of Zenith. I don't relish war, but I also know that I must do what's best for the people under me as a leader. We exit the palace and head for the temporary encampment in the city center. 5 days is plenty of time for nobles to bicker. This war is over. A/N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat points: 30 Armor rating, 500. Inventory dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, very rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x, Camping Gear, Food Rations, Dried Meat, Fishing Poles 2x. Passive perks: Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver and Overachiever. Active skills: Heaven's Light, LVL.59 325/5900, Protected by Heaven, LVL.59 225/5900/LVL.77 4600/1300000, Parry, LVL.5380/5300, Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A Winged Glory, Angelic Flight, Divine Pressure, Exertion, Divinity Pulse, Controlled Fun. Chapter 302, The Play 3. Sarah hasn't caught a single fish since we started, and I can see it's getting to him. It doesn't help that I've caught 4 since I started. How is it they're going to your line instead of mine? They're right next to each other. Are they racists against angels or something? His sense of humor needs some work, but it's improved since we've been together. I scoot closer to him and lean my head on his shoulder. Sitting while fishing is more practical than standing. Maybe you'd have better luck diving in and getting one by hand. My little joke gets a chuckle out of him. He kisses the top of my head. My line starts to wiggle, and I straighten up while reeling in my line. Sarah is right over my shoulder, watching as I skillfully bring in the fish. I give one last pull, and the fish comes out of the water with the line. That makes 5. You're never going to catch up. I didn't know someone can struggle so much at something so easy. My small jab at his pride makes him mockingly place a hand over his heart. It's nice to see that he isn't good at everything he does, as bad as that is to say. Maybe if I had a better teacher, I'd have caught one by now. The whisper of a sentence is almost missed, but I hear it regardless. I reach over and pinch his cheek. Even though it isn't painful, he acts like it's hurting him. I grab the fish and take it off the line. He takes it and places it in his inventory where the other 4 are. Don't worry. I'm sure that you'll get at least one before we have to head back. The play isn't starting till 6:30, so we'll keep trying for a couple more hours. Knowing him, he'll want to do something he's good at after this. I snuggle next to him as I finish casting out my line. It's a little colder here near the river. I'm shivering a little, and I'm too embarrassed to ask him for something to help keep me warm. I move closer and try to get as much heat from him as I can. You're cold, aren't you? His look is a knowing smile that has a teasing angle to it. I blush as I look away. In the next second, he's wrapping one of his wings around me. Before I can tell him someone might see us, he kisses me to stop my voice from coming out. He pulls away and chuckles at my shocked face. Don't worry. We're far enough away from the city that we don't have to worry about being seen. His confident voice and attitude reinforce me to trust him. I can't help myself from worrying. POV, Saintess Lucy. Location, City of Wendor, fighting monsters. Time, 11:47 a.m. My sword cuts through a grey homunculus with ease, and I spin to see my troops fending off the coming attack. This battle has been a long one, and the number of monsters is astonishing. I've lost 1,200 good soldiers in this siege. The lost city of Wendor is almost ours again, and we can rescue the females that have been kept here. If there are any left, that is, it's not easy. Being a woman in this world, I duck under a claw as it breezes past me, and it leaves me an opening to attack the Mantis Man, another monster in the monster horde we're fighting in this war. I slice up the center of his body, and he falls with a sickening crack and a smell that'd make onions cry. I leap back and near my soldiers, helping them the best I can. Don't falter now. This is the last of them. One of the commanders in the group shouts out, and everyone cheers as the battle continues. Wendor is a smaller city, and we don't need a big detachment to retake the city. The force I've brought with me is 15,000 strong. Having to tell the families of the 1,200 that have died is a thought I don't like. I won't be telling them personally, but it's a thought I don't like. The fight continues for another 10 minutes, and the last of the monster forces in this area are wiped out. Many sit down or take a knee for a breather. My return to the command camp is my priority, so no rest for me right now. It takes me some time to reach the camp, but I make it. There are wounded and sick already being taken care of from past encounters before reaching Wendor. Saintess Lucy. I turn towards the familiar voice, and I see one of my friends, Lady Heather. She's an important healer and agreed to join us on this expedition to retake some of the smaller cities. She runs up and hugs me. I've known her since we were kids, and she's the sister I never had. I heard the reports about the battle. I'm sorry for all the lives that have been lost. She apologizes even though it's not even remotely close to her fault. The comfort of her words is little, and I'm beginning to understand why Alexander is retiring. She pulls away, and I notice the blood and grime on her. She's been working hard herself. Everyone is integral in a battle, but healers and medics play certain importance that is hard to compare to others. Yeah, this battle has cost us a lot, I'm sorry, but I need to speak to the church. Her smile turns into a solemn one, understanding what I need to do. Responsibilities come first during these times. I walk past her towards my personal tent. I close the tent flap and head for the table. I sit down in one of the chairs and take a deep breath. I lean my body forward and lower my head. I run my fingers through my hair and try to take just a few seconds to relax. The hologram of Alexander appears, and I dart my head up. His emotions are becoming easier to read every time I see him. He's stressed out himself. The council must be hectic right now. I won't take up much time. Just tell me if you've taken Wendover back. I slowly nod my head once, and he smiles. You're doing great. Take some time to rest. The hologram shuts off, and my body falls into complete exhaustion. I don't even bother getting up from the chair and heading to my bed. While the commanders and general will take care of everything without me, I still need to be ready if they need me. I tilt my head back against the chair and look at the ceiling of the tent. The warmth of the fire in the wood stove is warming my numb body. Today's battle was in freezing temperatures. While we were affected by the cold, so were the monsters. Everyone was at a disadvantage. Saintess Lucy Heather's voice comes from the entrance of the tent, and I turn to see her. She waits for permission to come in, and I do so with a smile and a wave of my hand. She walks over to my chair and sits in the one across from me. If you want, I can heal any injuries you may have sustained, even might help with exhaustion. There are men out there that need her help far more than me. I shake my head, and I watch her poutful expression. Too bad. I'm doing it anyway. She holds her hands out and starts using her healing magic. The warmth and energy spread through my body, helping aches and bruises. As she heals me, my eyes slowly close. Sleep is taking me, and I don't have the will to fight it. Hopefully, they won't need me for anything for a couple of hours. A/N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat points, 30. Armor rating, 500. Inventory: Dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, Very Rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x Camping Gear, Food Rations 4x Dried Meat 4x Fishing Poles 2x Fish 5x. Passive perks: Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend, destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver and Overachiever. Active skills: Heaven's Light, LVL.59 325/5900, Protected by Heaven, LVL.59 225/5900/LVL.77 4600/1300000, Parry, LVL.5380/5300, Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A Winged Glory, Angelic Flight, Divine Pressure, Exertion, Divinity Pulse, Controlled Fun. Chapter 303, The Play 4. My pride as a man is hurt more than I'd care to admit. I didn't catch a single fucking fish, and Sally even tried to help me at the end. She caught a total of 8 fish, and all of them were good sizes. She's trying hard not to laugh, but it's a long walk. "Kman, it's not that bad." She holds back her giggles as she tries to console me. I never knew something could be so infuriating and simple at the same time. It made me feel incompetent. "That's easy for you to say. I'd be shitting rainbows if I caught 8 fish." Her giggles turn into full-blown laughter that settles my frustration. I release a sigh of resignation. I can't be good at everything. Fishing is one of those discovered things. Her laughter comes to an end, and her cheeks are red from a lack of air. "Oh, I love you, Sarah, only you would take fishing this seriously." I can't help chuckling myself at her correct observation. "Do you want me to teach you how to clean a fish? They're delicious." She grabs my wrist in excitement as we walk side by side. I can clean deer and elf, so it can't be that much different. We need special tools for the fish we caught. A regular knife or sharp tool won't work. Okay, maybe this won't be the same. We'll also need to cook them as soon as they're clean. You don't want to store fish? This is officially different from elk and deer meat. Can't you store it? My inventory should be able to store it fine. The meat stays fresh since it's dried. Why can't I store it in my inventory like the rest of the food? Is fish really that different? I sound like an idiot, asking Sally questions about my inventory ability when NPCs like her don't have them. Forget my question. It was stupid. Her smile spreads further, and I feel her hand find mine. She interlocks her fingers with mine and moves closer. "Let's get the right cleaning tools when we get to town, and we'll make us some fish." Looks like I'm spending some more gold. I'm glad that I have a shop that's constantly earning me money. It'd be a real problem not having a steady flow of money. The city's walls are slowly coming into view in the distance. POV, Salyandra Orvalo. Location, city on the border to the Elven Kingdom. Time, 12:57 p.m. It's going to be fun showing Sarah how to clean a fish. It's not nearly as bloody and gruesome as cleaning an elk or deer. The streets are rather full of other players like Sarah, and some of them are even arguing. What's going on right now? How come they're arguing with each other? My curiosity gets the better of me as I ask Sarah my question. He's the same as them, and he'll know what's going on. Sarah watches and studies them, observing what I can't see. Knowing exactly what to look for and how to find it regarding players. There are 2 separate guilds here, and both are big. Apparently, there are rumors of an important dungeon on the other side. So they're here waiting to get into the Elven Kingdom for a dungeon? I don't know much about the Elven Kingdom or what dungeons it has. There is going to be a great inflow of players coming to this city in the next few days, and lots of powerful high-leveled leaders in these guilds. We need to be careful and not reveal our faces. Some will recognize me. Sarah and I are being safe and wearing our hoods right now. This is more risk added to the mission we're on. If only Hayley and Jasmine could get here faster. Sarah and I mind our own business and make a quick detour to less populated parts of the city. We eventually make it to the shop selling the things we need, but it took longer getting here thanks to all the players sticking to the main roads in the city. We enter the shop, and tools are covering the walls and tables around the room, showing off the many different things to buy. The entire place is made out of stone except for the floor, which is wood. The woman at the front desk sees us and waves us over. "I'm sure that I can help you in finding anything you need." She's very polite even though Sarah is a new person. Sarah bumps me forward with a gentle nudge. I know what we need, and that means I get to take the lead. "I'll need a fish cleaning set if you have one." My meek voice and shyness cause the nice lady to smile. She walks through the door behind her, and we hear the occasional box shuffle. After a minute or two, she comes back out with a bag. POV, Hayley Adamo. Location, a day away from the border. Time, 1:29 p.m. The freezing wind blows against my face and causes a wave of numbness. Jasmine and I are in the middle of our trip as a blizzard is starting to ramp up. I think it'd be a good idea if we set up camp before the snow gets too deep. Jasmine speaks what I'm thinking. Before we set out from the city we teleported in, we grabbed all the gear we needed to fend off the cold. We stop and quickly set up a tent. It's closed off and has magical enchantments inside to keep it warm. Jasmine crawls in before me, and the toastiness of the tent quickly brings feeling back into my fingers and face. It's so much colder than I expected it to be. I groan out as I finish my complaint. I figured it'd be cold this far north, but not this cold. Jasmine begins to take her clothes off, and I unequip mine using the inventory. She and I are in our underwear so we can warm up our bodies. Give me your clothes. I put them in my inventory to dry faster. It's one of the conveniences of having an inventory. It allows you to take dirty or wet clothes and place them inside, cleaning and drying them in the process. The best comparison I can think of is a portable washer and dryer. How long do you think until this weather clears up? Her question is one that I asked before we left, and the answer I got it'd be gone by tomorrow morning. Around 4 a.m., to be exact. I place her clothes in my inventory, and now it's just us in our bras and panties. I'm not bashful when it comes to showing skin, as long as it's not my breasts or coochie. Jasmine is trying her best to cover any skin she has. I open my inventory and pull out 2 blankets. I toss one to her, and I keep the other to myself. We're both girls, Jasmine. You don't need to be so prudish around me. She covers herself with the blanket quicker than I can unfold mine. I can understand her bashfulness. Some people are uncomfortable with their bodies. Jasmine has a nice slim figure with perky assets, but the leftover scars from her time as a slave aren't things she wants people to see. Including me. I don't like showing off my skin, it's scarred and disgusting, that's a total lie, but to her, it's the truth. I'm not going to push her, and the blankets are already out and covering both of us. That's okay, Jasmine, I'd feel the same way you do if I've been through what you have. Her scars are all in areas that people consider private. Some drag out into visible places, but they all originate from either her chest or lower area. It makes my heart ache. A/N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat Points, 30 Armor Rating, 500. Inventory Dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, Very Rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x Camping Gear Food Rations 4x Dried Meat 4x Fishing Poles 2x Fish 8x. Passive Perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend, destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver and Overachiever. Active Skills. Heaven's Light LVL.59325/5900, Protected by Heaven LVL.59225/5900/LVL.774600/130000, Parry LVL.5380/5300, Double Strike and/A King Slayer and/A Raging Machine and/A Winged Glory, Angelic Flight, Divine Pressure, Exertion, Divinity Pulse, Controlled Fun. Chapter 304, The Play v. Sally is far prettier than any woman here. The garb she's wearing for the festival this time matches her long platinum blonde hair. We're both dressed properly for the occasion. All the attention is on the players who aren't following the tradition here, leaving us out of mind and sight. What do you think the play is going to be about? I honestly don't know, probably something about elves. We make it to some seats with a good view and out of the way from everyone. The city's Colosseum is being used for the play, so everyone has plenty of room. I think it depends on who's running the show. Biased writers are surely going to influence it. Sally lightly nods her head as the seats around the Colosseum slowly fill. It's a first come, first serve, and we're in a booth overlooking the Colosseum grounds. Hence why I called it far off and private. No one is interested enough to see up here. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's performance is a gripping tale of the elves' second war against the orc tribes. A brutal and sorrowful tale. I know about this war. It was an interesting read in the lore. The elven people have a long and rough history with the orc tribes, mainly because orc men loved elf women. The opening announcer leaves the grounds, and props are magically summoned. I learned that the orcs were nearly exterminated in this war. Sally's question is a low and borderline whisper. She knows some history about it, that's impressive. The mages running the show from the background use magic to make sure everyone can hear the conversations. That way, the actors don't have to yell and try to reach all over the Colosseum. Princess Gwyneth. The orc armies are moving closer to our lands every day. What shall we do? Princess Gwyneth is a famous figure in the elven community. She took the mantle of queen after the war, thwarting the coup that was happening in her kingdom. Her mother and father were murdered before the war started. Rally the troops. We'll meet them at Jasmines Valley, a legendary location in the Elven Kingdom. It's where the war against the orc tribes started and later ended too. Sally is gripping my hand, and her palms are sweaty. Despite this is just a play, it was based on real events. Orcs were and are still a threat to the female elven population. Especially with this war, they're one of the main forces. Grand Marshal Astoria. We're moving out within the day. Grand Marshal Astoria. All I really know about her is she was a tactical and strategic genius. Many battles were won in the war because of her. She was the highest-ranking military leader and helped Princess Gwyneth stop the coup. This is my history, what my people went through. The beautiful girl next to me whispers in a sad voice. She is an elf, and as much as she's rejected for her half-blood status, this is part of her history. Salyandra Orvalo. Location, play at the Colosseum. Time, 6:47 p.m. My mother was an outcast, and I'm one now. Yet, I relate and feel connected to the story that's being told. This was in a time that lacked prejudice, where elven people weren't discriminated against by fellow elves regardless of blood purity. The opening battle is coming up, and I've got Sarah's hand in a death grip. We watch as magical projections start and simulate the battle. Orcs and elves are killing each other in showers of blood and guts. Screams of pain echoing out from both sides of the battle. It's not as hard for me to watch, but I can see other elves out and below our booth tearing up. They relate to them far more than I do. The simulation of the fight zooms out and shows the true scale of the first battle and the actual size of Jasmines Valley. There hasn't been a battle of the scale in many thousands of years. To witness it through a simulation is humbling. Sarah's words are meaningful to me. He knows all about fighting and death. He's someone I can relate to more than these characters of the past. The battle rages on for a few more minutes, calming down as the Orcish forces are slowly driven back. The marking of the Second Elven Orc War started at this valley, and 2 years later, it would end here. Do you think they'd be happy with the way things turned out for the elves? I try to disassociate myself with my people in my question. It's fruitless, though. I know that I'll never be able to get rid of the human blood in me. They'd probably kill the current royal family. He rubs the top of my hands with his thumb as I turn to look at him. The elves of old would weep if they saw the state their once mighty kingdom is in now. To them, elves are elves. There are no half-breeds. My hope for his words to be true is strong. The play continues, and now it's in a council meeting. All the leaders in the war are there. This was the moment that the elven leaders discussed the possibility of annihilating the orc race. The announcer sets the scene with an announcement, and soon the actors that playing their parts. The first to speak is Princess Gwyneth. The elf playing her is truly beautiful, breathtaking, I'd say. I'd be willing to be she's elven nobility with beauty like that. The movement of the orcs has become more restricted thanks to our mages. But this meeting is to discuss a different topic. Her voice is as lovely as when she first started talking at the beginning of the play. Many are mesmerized by her. Sarah isn't in that group. He's got a serious look on his face. The same kind when thinking about history or planning something. He's the smartest person I've ever met. It's time that we end the orc race for good. Our people have suffered from them for long enough. History repeats itself in this play. The reason the orcs were so weak before the war was because of this. It's taken them thousands of years to repopulate and unite their tribes again. In a sense, the elves of the time succeeded. The orc was no longer a threat and thought extinct. A few survivors stuck together and made sure that the orc race lived on. In another sense, they also failed. Fascinating, the orcs still came back despite enduring the full wrath of the elves. He and I both are fascinated. The play progresses, and it's at one of the key battles in the war, the Battle of Olizares, a city that rivals the capital in importance. This was when it became clear the orcs would lose. It was one of their last bold attempts in the war. Split Divisions 14 and 17. The simulation shows Gwyneth ordering her troops and organizing the fight. Sarah watches the battle closely, and it inspires me to look at the finer details more. That's when I notice there is an overwhelming number of elven mages and archers. This is how they won the Battle of Olizares, by keeping the fight at long distance and only sending in troops to parts of the city that have been cleared. They used their superior magic and bows to the best they could. Today, many would consider the magic in this battle outdated and impractical. I can still see the beauty in such magic and the importance it has in today's magic. Do you think the orcs will attack the elves directly in this new war? My question isn't meant to be taken as deeply as Sarah is taking it, but a part of my stomach sinks as he nods his head, confirming my question. /N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat Points, 30. Armor Rating, 500. Inventory Dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, very rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x Camping Gear Food Rations 4x Dried Meat 4x Fishing Poles 2x Cleaned Fish 8x. Passive Perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver and Overachiever. Active Skills. Heaven's Light LVL.59 325/5900 Protected by Heaven LVL.59 225/5900/LVL.77 4600/1300000 Parry LVL.5380/5300 Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A Winged Glory Angelic Flight Divine Pressure Exertion Divinity Pulse Controlled Fun. Chapter 305, The Play 6. The slaughter that's happening before my eyes makes me want to turn away. Seeing so much blood and death isn't natural for me, not at this high of a level. The Battle of Nerval, City of Beauty. I heard that during its golden years, anyone who was born in the Elven City was beyond beautiful. Sarah's knowledge about Elven history is inspiring. It makes me want to learn history, not necessarily Elven history. I'm not considered to be an elf to the Elven people. I never realized how brutal a full-scale battle like this can be. The war my people fought, I wonder if there were any winners in the end. I can't find better words to describe them. Associating them with me doesn't feel right. Sprawled out elf bodies and piled corpses of orcs, a once beautiful city devastated and reduced to houses with walls missing. Some, only having the foundations left. You're not like them, Sally. My stomach sinks, and my heart feels heavy. I know it's hard for you, but you're more than they'll ever be. They're not your people. My breath falters, and I choke a little on air. He's looking at me, his hand is resting in mine. The support he gives me, the understanding he has. He knows my heart. Thanks for getting it. It's hard not having a people of your own. Sarah takes his hand from mine and wraps his arm around my shoulder, and brings me closer. Hugging me from the side. He plants a kiss on the side of my head and lays my head on his shoulder. I'll always be here, and I'll never leave you. I'm your people now, Sally. You're mine, and I'm yours. A feeling of acceptance spreads through me. No matter how much I try to hold back, tears start welling up in the corners of my eyes. The burning hot tears fall down my cheeks. The quivering of my chin and the crease of my eyebrows grow more prevalent the longer I fight it. It's okay, Sally. Letting out the pain is something that I want you to do. Keeping it buried, it's like cancer. I turn my body and move my head into his chest. My face is smothering his muscles. I let out muffled cries and whimpers into him, echoing through his chest and sending vibrations back to me. His hand rests on the back of my head, gently stroking my hair and calming me down. All the pain I've kept buried about my elven blood. It's coming to the surface and tearing a hole in me, but it's being healed as quickly as it's coming. Sarah rests his chin on my head and wraps both arms around me, hugging me and making me feel safe and secure in his arms. Like nothing in the world can hurt me in this vulnerable moment. I don't know how I got so lucky. My life has completely changed, and it's so much better than I ever dreamed it could be. My tears have soaked through his garb, and snot is starting to come out of my nose. I pull away and try to wipe it away, but Sarah stops my hand from removing anything else. He places his hand under my chin and lifts my head, so our eyes meet. Leave it. It's not going to hurt me. He slowly dries my tears and runs his thumb across my cheek. Your eyes are so red and puffy now. Flushed cheeks too. I'm glad you let it out. You needed it. I'd cry more if I weren't dried out. He knows how to treat me. I don't know how to describe it, like I'm so special and so important to him. That nothing he finds out about me will ever change his thoughts or feelings about me. Let's go back to the inn and get you cleaned up. We don't need to finish the play. He gently lifts me in his arms, and he carries me out of the booth. Heading for the exit of the Colosseum. POV, Hayley and Jasmine. Location, warm magical tent in a blizzard. Time, 7:39 p.m. My feet unconsciously rub against one another, even though they're warm. A habit that I've had since I was a kid, something I do when I'm under a nice warm blanket. Can I ask you a question? A tired and relaxed voice pulls me from my memories as a kid. Jasmine has been silent for some time now, and I thought she was asleep. She's looking at me for a response, and I nod my head lightly. Do you think that what we'll end up doing with your brother will be worth it? You're really going out of your way to help him, and I admire that. But we'll end up making enemies that'll never forget us. Her concerns are more than valid. Taking on the elves isn't something she signed up for. Whatever I answer won't change her coming along with me. I'm doing this cause Sarah and Sally need me, and that's the only reason I need. My brother needs my help, and he's always been there when I needed it. It's what family's for, being there in our times of need and offering any help we can. I get your concerns. I have them too. My thoughts about the dangers in this aren't hidden. There are incredible risks coming along with this mission that Sarah is setting out on, one that will not be as easily taken care of with a few slashes of his sword. Don't worry, Jasmine, my brother is the strongest person I know. He's even stronger than me, and I think you'll like him when you meet him for the first time. I haven't told her that Sarah is Slayer Zirn. It's going to be a nice surprise for her since she's a devoted follower of the gods of light and church. I'm excited to see her reaction. To her and many others, Sarah is basically a god. Son of heaven's mightiest angel, and the grandson of the Almighty Father. That's a little hard to believe you're so strong. Hard to imagine anyone out there stronger than you. She flatters me with such words. It's not that Sarah will have an easy time beating me. I know that the power gap between us is close. My speed is just too much to handle, but he has so many things that I can't compete with defensively and offensively wise. Perhaps we'll spar to show you just how strong he really is. Is this the only thing you wanted to talk about? I'm referring to her question about this being a good idea. Her silence speaks volumes. There are definitely other things on her mind, and most of them are probably things she thinks I'll take offense to. How strong is your family? You're so powerful, and so is your brother. Do you know anything about how strong your parents are? I wasn't expecting that. I haven't thought about the others since I joined up with Jasmine again. Mom and Dad are probably doing fine, and Marcus is likely having a blast. Knowing Sarah, he might have to them where to find powerful classes and other such things. Like he did for me. I don't know much about the rest of my family. I haven't found them yet, and Sarah is the only one I know is actually all right now. I don't regret setting out on my own. That doesn't mean I don't worry about my family, 'cause I do. After I left with Sarah and then left him, I felt free for the first time in my life. That feeling hasn't changed. I'm sorry I asked about a touchy subject. She's quick to apologize, seeing the face I'm making. One likely covered in frowns and creases. It's not her fault. I know we'll all be together one day. A/N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat Points, 30. Armor Rating, 500. Inventory: Dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, Very Rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x Camping Gear, Food Rations 4x Dried Meat 4x Fishing Poles 2x Fish 8x. Passive Perks: Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend, destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver, and Overachiever. Active Skills: Heaven's Light, LVL.59 325/5900, Protected by Heaven, LVL.59 225/5900/LVL.77 4600/130000, Parry, LVL.5380/5300, Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A Winged Glory, Angelic Flight, Divine Pressure, Exertion, Divinity Pulse, Controlled Fun. Chapter 306, Hayley and Jasmine's Arrival. That blizzard lasted all night long, and I'm not regretting the extra coin I spent on the tent. This damn snow is too deep. How are you not tired of clearing the path? My silent laugh flutters up from my stomach. She's strong, but trudging through deep snow can be considered brutal exercise. I'm unaffected from exhaustion due to my stats. It'll take a lot to make me tired, and carving a walkable path isn't going to be the thing that does me in. You tired already? We've only been walking for an hour. We still have more than a day till we reach the city my brother is in. She releases a long and deep groan of what I'd call begrudging acceptance. I know what it sounds like cause I made plenty of them in my life. The trip is going according to schedule. It's just nobody likes to travel in the cold. Even though it's not snowing, it's still not warm enough to make the snow melt. It's staying at the perfect cold temperature for it to remain fluffy and in high volume. Don't patronize me, Miss Iron Warrior, I'd not brag so much if I were you. The wording a playful tone remind me of Mom. Before our major conflicts, we were so close. I learned sarcasm from her and used it to annoy and make her laugh. One of the best memories I had before we started going down that dark road. Sorry, next time I'll make sure to buy a backpack that'll fit you and Emerald. That way, you won't have to work so hard. The glare on the back of my head makes my hair stand up. Emerald pops her head out of the backpack I'm lugging around and lets out a mew of energy. She's getting bigger every day, and she's starting to outgrow the backpack. Very funny, Hailey, when that cat can't fit anymore, will we be riding it to our destinations? Emerald has a long time before she's fully grown, but when she is, she'll be my means of transport. Emerald lets out a cute hiss towards Jasmine behind me. Emerald doesn't like the thought of outgrowing her backpack. If it were up to her, she'd be the same kitten I found her as. She prefers to be carried and pampered, but those days of sitting in my lap and falling asleep are quickly coming to an end. She's getting pretty heavy even now. The worst part about traveling is traveling. Covering the large distances between two places, the ancient's world is unreasonably large. Gaia is more true to its name now. Other players and I refer to Gaia as the ancient's world from time to time. That's up to Emerald. I'm not going to force her to carry us. I'm not cruel. I feel Emerald's tongue licking my neck and purrs coming from behind me. Jasmine is on Emerald's good side, but she isn't so liked that she'd let Jasmine ride on her. Magical beasts usually only permit their owners to ride on them. Anyone else is rejected, even if the owner is there. I need to get me a magical beast, at least one that I can ride. My feet are frozen, and they hurt. Sometimes, I wonder if I complain as much when it comes to certain things. I'm sure I do, but I like to think of myself above that. When in reality, no one is. Everyone has something they complain about more often than anything else in their lives. Who knows, maybe Emerald will find a partner one day and have kittens. It'll take some convincing, but she might let you have one. Jasmine straight out laughs at the notion. Hey, you never know. POV, Sarah Adamo. Location, room at Inn. Time, 9:31 a.m. Sally shifts under the sheets, and her bare skin clings on mine. The play last night caused a lot of emotions in Sally that she wasn't expecting, and we decided to come back to the room. She cried and stopped, then did some more crying. Eventually, we both got tired enough to sleep. Hailey should be arriving either today or tomorrow. I never expected her to take this long. The trip here wouldn't be as easy for her. I can fly. She can't. Since we're all going to be traveling together once they get here, I'll also have to stop flying. Carrying 3 people isn't something I want to do. There isn't enough room on my body. Today is another day that we don't have any plans other than to wait. Speaking to myself isn't something I often do. Personally, it makes me feel crazy. It's one of those things I do only when the conversations in my head are reaching a level that one of them has to come out. So that means we have today to ourselves again. To my surprise, a half-asleep Sally replies to my pondering. She lifts herself out of the blankets and hangs over me, smiling subtly and eyes still not fully open. Sally has gone through more in her life than I could ever imagine, and she's confided all her secrets, fears, and doubts in me. I don't see them as weaknesses, and I don't see her any differently. I've had a dream we were in a canoe floating down a gentle stream. It felt so real. The side of my lip raises in slight amusement. I'd love to have a dream like that. All I dreamed about were those damn fish and how I couldn't catch a single fucking one. I'm a little jealous, Sally. All I dreamed about were stupid fish. Her face instantly gets red as she lets out a huge laugh. I'm glad that my damaged pride as a man can bring such a genuine laugh. She wipes away mock tears and leans fully up. No longer hanging over me. I sit up myself and look at her. Her beauty captures me every time I look at her. That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life. I've never heard of such a dream before. My ego shrinks in the face of such blatant observations, and I suppose it's actually good. I don't want my ego to be that big or big in general. Plus, it's good to see this after last night. She finally calms down and looks at me with an intoxicating smile and a squint that would make any man stutter in his thoughts. What do you suppose we do today? The festival is over, and my sister isn't here yet. While battling in a dungeon sounds fun, none around here provide a challenge for me. There are some on the other side of the dungeon. Ones that reach a level requirement of 200 plus. Meaning I don't even qualify to go in, and that's not something that I've encountered on our trip yet. Well, if I could suggest something. She looks down at her hands and fiddles with them, lifting her eyes for permission to ask. I nod that she can tell me. I don't know why she's asking for permission. That's out of character. She knows she can talk to me about anything. Mind if we get a canoe and take a lazy stroll down one of the many rivers around here? That dream must have been really good. Wanting to try it out in real life. I don't see the problem. It's okay if you don't want to. It's pretty inconvenient. My so quick to dismiss strange. I scoot a little closer, and I place my arm around her shoulder. She isn't telling me something, but she must have a good reason. That sounds like an excellent idea, and the sooner we get out there, the longer we can enjoy the clear weather. For now. She lifts her head with a small smile, a light shade of red dusting her cheeks. Quite cute. A/N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat points, 30. Armor rating, 500. Inventory: Dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, Very Rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x Camping Gear Food Rations 4x Dried Meat 4x Fishing Poles 2x Fish 8x Festival Garbs 2x. Passive perks: Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend, destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver and Overachiever. Active skills: Heaven's Light, LVL.59 325/5900, Protected by Heaven, LVL.59 225/5900/LVL.77 4600/1300000, Parry, LVL.5380/5300, Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A Winged Glory, Angelic Flight, Divine Pressure, Exertion, Divinity Pulse, Controlled Fun. Chapter 307, Hayley and Jasmine's Arrival 2. Jasmine is insisting that we stop and rest for the night now that we're miles from the snow and in a nice dry and cold forest. We can still knock a few miles off if we can continue, big if, though. Hailey. I want to go to sleep for the night. Let's stop here and set up camp. Yelling isn't going to help her cause. I'm not cruel. I'll have to relent this time. We stop in our tracks, and she sees the displeased look on my face. She gives off a nervous laugh, trying to lighten the mood. Sorry, I get pretty cranky when I'm tired, you know that already, so how about that tent? The gritting of my teeth and deformed forced smile causes her to cringe. She takes a step back as I pull out the tent and blankets from my inventory. She helps me set everything up, and she's the first to get in. The sun is setting, and the temperature is dropping even lower as it disappears. The magical heat provided by the tent helps me let go of my frustration, and the softness of the blankets brings comfort to my mind and body. I roll my ankles, and they pop. They aren't sore, just a habit. Jasmine makes sure that I hear how comfortable she is with the continued release of sighs. All of them are of comfort and recovery. I'm so glad that we're out of that damn snow, and we're even closer to the damn border city. That's something I can agree with. I'm glad that we're out of that horrendous weather. Even though I'm not really affected stamina-wise, it was becoming a large strain on my mind. Something drives me crazy, trudging through the snow like a machine. We should be reaching our destination by late evening or night tomorrow. It'll be nice to see civilization again. The freedom and adventures I have are nice, but I still like being near population centers. The city girl in me can't resist not being near some city for too long. LA was one of the biggest cities in the world, but it doesn't compare to some of the places here. We're thinking the same thing. I'm looking forward to a nice hot shower or bath. I'm not smelling so great these days. We both share a laugh cause we're in the same situation. My odor is not something to brag about. It hurts my pride as a lady to stink the way I do right now. It brings me some solace since I'm not the only one. NPCs don't like players for many reasons. One of the smaller ones is our stench. It's common because we spend large amounts of time in dungeons or on long and dirty trips. The last time I had a chance to clean myself was before I left for the city of James. My hair is so damn greasy. It makes me feel cheap and dirty. I get first dibs on a shower. I'm quick to lock in the first spot, and I was surprised to learn that the concept of dibs exists here. Jasmine darts her head up and glares at me. Snooze, you lose, sister. You can tell by her look she's thinking of something to say to disqualify my dibs, but it's perfectly fine in this situation. Fine. You want it so bad you can take it. You smell worse than me anyway. She immediately starts to cut deep with her words. I'm not actually getting hurt by them. We both know that it's in good fun. POV, Saliandra Orvalo. Location, back at the inn. Time, 7:51 p.m. The shower water runs down my body, washing the soap away. The activities that we indulged in on the canoe caused me to sweat. He's always so gentle, I love how he's never rough with me, it makes me feel safe he can last so long, too. We had to stop. I couldn't go on anymore, and I feel bad cause it's like I wasn't able to satisfy him. He wouldn't be thinking anything like this. He's not the type to have thoughts about who satisfies who. It must be the difference in his strength and stamina compared to everyone else. That's the only solution I can think of. Players are strange sometimes, but it's not all bad. The canoe ride lasted longer than I thought it would. Most from us doing it, the isolation in the wilderness on the river made me feel like I could be as loud as I want. I didn't have to hold back my voice. I don't like being loud in an inn or near other people's homes, it makes me feel like they can hear me. I only want Sarah to hear my voice and the sounds I make when we're together like that. My fingers easily glide through my hair and wash the shampoo out. It's nice to have a private bathroom attached to the room we're staying in. How's the water? I jump a little at Sarah's voice. I didn't even hear him come into the bathroom. You were covered in a lot of sweat. The only sweat I got was from you. His teasing causes a flushed feeling on my face. He wasn't extended to the point that he was sweating. I was sweating so much that I made him covered in my scent. Whose fault do you think that is? I recall only wanting to go for a romantic canoe ride. You're the one who couldn't keep his hands to himself. Rubbing my thigh like that, shame on you. He peeks his head into the shower and grins at me. POV, Sarah Adamo. Location, bathroom in the in-room. Time, 8:03 p.m. She doesn't make an effort to cover her body. She turns her eyes away from mine as a rosy tint flushes her cheeks. I seem to recall you describing your dream to me. Don't try to deny it. What we did on the canoe is what happened in your dream. The teasing edge and abrupt acknowledgement of the real reason causes her to cover her face with her hands from embarrassment. She spreads the fingers covering her eyes and looks at me with her blue and green eyes. You don't have to talk about it, it's embarrassing. I've never had a dream like that before. Those sweet words, they drive me crazy. Sometimes her first erotic dream with someone was with me. She's become so comfortable with me. She dreams about me in that way. Now that I think about it, I'd like a shower myself. My equipment is instantly taken off and put in my inventory, and I step into the shower with her. She doesn't try to stop me, and as I stand in front of her with the water hitting my back, she lays her hands on my chest and steps forward, leaning her head against it. She smells so fruity and nice. The warmth and affection that I get from Sally isn't something I ever thought I'd get in my life. Many would call me a pathetic excuse for a man loving a supposed fictional and digital character. The people of Gaia aren't fictional and digital, not like we thought. You mind helping me scrub your sweat off my body? She looks up with a small grin. She reaches over for the soap and glides it across my back. Stepping back and bringing the soap to the front, and scrubbing my chest and abs. I love the way you feel, Sarah, so rigid and strong. The silky tone of her voice causes me to get a little more aroused than I planned. My member spins up and slaps her lower area. A/N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat points, 30. Armor rating, 500. Inventory: Dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, very rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x Camping Gear, Food Rations 4x Dried Meat 4x Fishing Poles 2x Fish 8x Festival Garbs 2x. Passive perks: Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend, destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver and Overachiever. Active skills: Heaven's Light, LVL.59325/5900, Protected by Heaven, LVL.59225/5900/LVL.774600/130000, Parry, LVL.5380/5300, Double Strike and/A King Slayer and/A Raging Machine and/A Winged Glory, Angelic Flight, Divine Pressure, Exertion, Divinity Pulse, Controlled Fun. Chapter 308, Hayley and Jasmine's Arrival 3. The rest of this trip has been pretty easy, and we've covered a lot of ground. We should be reaching the city at the border in about 5 hours. We're ahead of schedule, which is great. There is a small problem, finding Sarah and Sally in the city. We didn't agree to meet at a specific place or at a time of day. An oversight that both of us missed. Not all plans are perfect, and we were pressed for time, leaving gaps for other issues to arise that neither of us saw. I didn't think the northern end of the continent would be so beautiful. No wonder the elves prefer this land and no other land. Jasmine has been teaching me about the elves and their history. She's given me a lot of insight into what I might be up against. The land that we're traveling is mesmerizing, but I heard that the land beyond the borders is something few people other than elves see. Another problem that we didn't talk about, getting into the Elven Kingdom's borders. Elves are one of the oldest races in the world. They would lay claim to all lands if they didn't have to fight for them. My words are based on realistic expectations. They're not good and nice people. They lack the benevolence of other races. Look down on anything other than elves, and even look down on elves of half-blood. In my opinion, they're some of the worst racists I've ever heard of in my life. Who's talking to me right now? Those aren't the words of the Hailey I know. The chuckling at the end of her tease makes me grin. I don't usually speak in such a profound way, if you could call it that. My conclusion of the elven people and their society is similar to the white Americans during the settlement of America in the late 1700s and the majority of the 1800s. The elves haven't literally enslaved a race, but given a chance, I'm betting they would. The superiority complex of the elves hasn't changed over the last few thousand years. I can't say if they've always been like this. I have original thoughts of my own, and I may not be a poet, but I'm capable of deep thoughts and considerations of things outside my view of the world. All I receive in return is an amused scoff from Jasmine. POV, Jasmine. Location, 3/4 of the way to the border. Time, 10:34 am. Hailey is taking the information I've given about the elves seriously. She should too. The elves aren't a race to underestimate or gain the attention of. I'm glad that you're expanding your mental horizons, but this is out of character for you. I know you're smart, but you don't normally talk like it. I hope my observation doesn't come across the wrong way. The trip to meet up with her brother has shown me a lot about her, mostly that her family is pretty different from anything I've ever seen. You should hear my brother talk. If you don't have a certain IQ when he gets going, you'll fall behind pretty fast. Luckily, he keeps it chill most of the time. I'm excited to meet Hailey's brother. She's talked about him pretty often. One of the things I know about him for sure is how strong he is. Hailey has made sure I understand that point, and he's also got an above-average intelligence. I'm betting the two of you have a lot more in common than you let on. You haven't even told me if he's younger or older than you. That's something I'd love to know. How do such young siblings have such incredible power? It's from the classes, but both of them have strong classes that set them out. Seems suspicious to me. My brother is a little younger than I am. He is Mom's favorite, and I know I'm Dad's favorite. Our little brother Marcus is the odd man out, but he's too young to understand that. Didn't expect him to be younger, but that's not bad. As an only child and ex-slave, I can't relate to anything in regards to family. I envy Hailey sometimes when it comes to that part of her life. Sometimes I dream of what my life would look like if I had a family. I hope you know how lucky you are, Hailey. There are lots of people out there who would kill to have what you have. She stops and turns her head in confusion. That did come out of nowhere. I'm sorry, that was rude. She rolls her eyes, and we keep walking. Guess it wasn't that big to her. How much longer do you think we have until we reach the border? I'm getting pretty tired of this slow walking, but I'm truly glad we're out of the snow now. Hailey decides not to answer me, probably tired of getting asked. POV, Sarah Adamo. Location, in room, in bed. Time, 11:07 am. The warm sheets and blankets are covering both of us. The action in the shower was transferred to the bed. After we had some more fun, we decided to sleep. This is the longest we've ever slept in. The clock in the room is telling me it's 11:08 in the morning. I haven't slept past 10 in this world yet. Sally's arm reaches over my chest at the sound of my voice. We are treating this time to ourselves the way we're supposed to. Together and having fun. I turn my body and sit on the side of the bed. I run my fingers through my hair and release a sigh. Hayley and Jasmine should be arriving any day now. I don't know what's taking her so long. I can only assume it's Jasmine. Hayley's too fast to be taking this long. Sally leans up behind me and crawls up behind me, wrapping her arms around my body and resting her head on my shoulder. Her blonde hair is falling on me, and her breasts are pushing into my back. Getting up already. She must not want to get up yet. I relax and she feels the shift in my posture into something more relaxed. She gently falls back and pulls me along with her. I was going to go downstairs and get us some food, but that can wait. You know, that shower didn't go the way I thought it would. Getting all sweaty again after getting out wasn't part of the plan either. Most men would be thinking about the girl holding them, but I'm worried about my sister. Sally runs her fingers through my hair and kisses the back of my head. I'm worried about Hayley. She should have been here by now, Jasmine or not, they must have taken a detour or something. I wouldn't doubt that Hayley stopped off at a dungeon or location with something powerful in it. Something that Jasmine could use. That's what I did when Sally and I started traveling together. I got her a powerful class so she could hold her own against people trying to hurt her and some of the enemies that I'll be facing. It's okay, Hayley is a big girl. The second strongest person I know, she'll be here. I can't believe I'm being the overprotective brother right now, not something I like to be. Mom and Dad are probably having a blast themselves, along with Marcus. Gaia is so big, they could be anywhere at this point in time. I'm betting they're doing what I used to do. Explore and dungeon dive, that was before my old life fell apart, but it was still fun. All we can do is wait, and that's not bad. I look on the bright side, it's given us more time together to relax. A/N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat points, 30 Armor rating, 500. Inventory dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, very rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x Camping Gear Food Rations 4x Dried Meat 4x Fishing Poles 2x Fish 8x Festival Garbs 2x. Passive Perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver and Overachiever. Active Skills. Heaven's Light LVL.59 325/5900 Protected by Heaven LVL.59 225/5900/LVL.77 4600/130000 Parry LVL.5380/5300 Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A Winged Glory Angelic Flight Divine Pressure Exertion Divinity Pulse Controlled Fun. Chapter 309, Arriving at the Border City. There has to be some magical enchantment cast on the environment. The landscape gets more amazing the closer we get to the border, and the weather is perfect. Despite how far north we are, the city is coming into view. This damn trip is almost over. Jasmine points to the obvious city in the distance a few miles out. It's connected to the seemingly endless wall that surrounds the Elven Kingdom. The first thing we're going to do is get something to eat, right? She's become a real fan of food from my world, and many NPCs have. "'Cause I'm not helping you look until I get some good food in my belly." An ultimatum, that's not something she often does. She's not the only one. We both haven't eaten anything good for a while now. The last time I had anything good was in the city of James. Yeah, Jasmine. We can get something to eat before we start looking for my brother. The trip here has been something of a challenge for her. We've never traversed such rough terrain before. The weather at the first part of the journey here really knocked all she had out of her. She's been running on fumes since the snow-packed part of this trip. Good, 'cause you wouldn't like me when I'm cranky, and I get really cranky when I haven't had a good meal in a while. I can't help looking at her with a questioning look. This is her when she isn't cranky? That doesn't seem real, 'cause she's cranky right now. If this isn't cranky, then I hope I never see how cranky she can be. Don't worry, Jasmine. You'll get your food, and we'll have a break. Starting tomorrow, we'll have to look around for my brother. He won't be that hard to find. I know what he looks like, mainly his armor and weapon sheath. He wears a hood like I do when I'm in cities. His height will make him stand out a bit. I just have to pay attention and look at the men I come across. Fitting said description. I can't believe it's such a pain to get here. She diverts from the topic of food to how challenging it was to get here. POV, Jasmine. Location, Border City. Time, 4:12 p.m. Getting through the city gate was a bit of a hassle, but it wasn't that bad. Hailey has bags of gold, and it's expensive to get into some cities. I wonder how hard it's going to be to get across into the actual kingdom. This is a question more directed at me. Talking to myself is a habit I picked up. Living on your own or as a slave, you have to do something to keep your sanity. Hailey and I both have our hoods on, and we're walking side by side. My brother will have a plan to get us into the borders of the Elven Kingdom. He's always got some sort of plan when it comes to these things. I see no reason to doubt that logic. From all the stories that I've been told about this brother, he knows exactly what he's doing. I'm pretty curious about who he is. Hailey has been vague about him the entire trip. I know the most about him out of their family, though, which doesn't say much, 'cause I don't know anything other than his name. Sarah, it's a strange name for a boy, but who am I to judge? A unique name will set some people apart in their lives. The streets are packed even at this time. Most are people like Hailey. They must also be looking for a way into the Elven Kingdom. They don't let anyone or anything other than their kind into the kingdom. Why do you think so many are trying to get into the Elven Kingdom? If anyone knows the answer to that question, it's Hailey. She sighs and stuffs her hands in her pockets as she looks around and observes all the others like her. They're here because there are powerful dungeons in the Elven Kingdom, and that's what everyone is after. A powerful dungeon means powerful rewards. That makes sense. I don't think like that, 'cause if I die, I'm dead forever. People like Hailey come back to life back at the mysterious citadels that appeared everywhere. Hailey explained to me that's the place where they come back after they die, but she never told me how they really came to be. We're coming up on some places that sell food, pick one, and we'll get a bite. My head darts over to look at the upcoming restaurants. POV, Angelus. Location, Private Dimension. Time, 5 p.m. It seems that the older sibling of Sarah has found her way to him and took her time doing so. The teacup floats in front of me, and I sip from the cup lightly. The floating screen in front of me switches to Sarah, and he's with Salyandra. Salyandra's relationship is something I've grown to be jealous of, and I feel bad for feeling this way. My feelings for Sarah are complicated. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be the way I am now. He's the reason I'm the woman I am now. I have a form of fondness or love for him. I can't act on it. It'd be like giving him an unfair advantage, despite how strong he's become. He'll face powerful foes in the Elven Kingdom. Not just in dungeons either, but the royal family. They aren't pushovers. They've been around for a very long time. Angelus, you're not spying on him again, are you? A machine-like voice pulls me from my thoughts, and I look over to see my assistant. I created her in my likeness, a little sister. Some would consider this creepy while her voice is monotonous. It's not that he's empty. She feels and thinks like any of us do, and her words can be genuine and inspiring if you take away the monotone. You know me so well, little angel, I shouldn't be eavesdropping on him, and I appreciate you trying to make sure I don't. While my jealousy of Salyandra is real, it's not malicious. I couldn't do anything to her if I wanted to. My authority stretches only to the players and events that concern them. Salyandra isn't a player, making her outside my reach. I understand your fondness for him, sister. There are many gods who are watching him now, and his choices. The overworld is in the middle of a major change. The old gods are on their way back, and that's caused some tension. It's only a matter of time until they reach full power. The divine energy that held them back was taken by Sarah, and his power grows. He has the potential to inherit everything in this world. There are some out there that are working against him in this endeavor. The Dark Ones are a group trying to halt his growth and hinder him. Others are on his side, trying to help him. He doesn't know the true weight the wish he made carried, that it was already predetermined that he'd make the wish. That he was chosen to make the world the way it is now. Don't worry, little angel, there is still much for him to do. The future holds many things, and more is going to be revealed in his time in the Elven Kingdom. All I can do is watch, but I have faith in him. He's not weak. He's got the help of allies now, and time is on his side for now. A/N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat Points, 30. Armor Rating, 500. Inventory: Dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, Very Rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x Camping Gear, Food Rations 4x Dried Meat 4x Fishing Poles 2x Fish 8x Festival Garbs 2x. Passive Perks: Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend, destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver, and Overachiever. Active Skills: Heaven's Light, LVL.59 325/5900, Protected by Heaven, LVL.59 225/5900/LVL.77 4600/1300000, Parry, LVL.5380/5300, Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A Winged Glory, Angelic Flight, Divine Pressure, Exertion, Divinity Pulse, Controlled Fun. Chapter 310, Close, but Far. The amount of food that Jasmine can put away astonishes me. She's got a much more petite stature than I do, and she's a few inches shorter than me. Yet, here I sit, watching her eat for 3 or 4 people. It's not the first time I've seen it, but it's still an amazing thing that I can't get over. I'm getting through my first dish, and she's starting her 5th. The juice from all the steaks she's eaten makes it look like she went and bit into a cow. Forget cutting it up and cleaning it. She should walk out into a pasture and go to town. Slow down, Jasmine, you're eating your food so fast they can't keep up with you in the kitchen. Not to mention the massive tab you're running up the price isn't too bad, not for food this good. Normally I wouldn't spend so much on a trip to a restaurant. Sometimes, habits gotta be broken, and if not for you, then someone else. Don't talk to me right now, let me enjoy this moment. Her food is more important than anything going on for her right now, and we've all been at that place. The place where we're so hungry, we don't care about the rest of the world. This is a prime example of what that looks like, teeth filled with food as she tears it apart. I can't believe your world had food like this everywhere you went, it's not fair. I'd have food like this every day. She'd end up like a lot of people who did live their lives that way. Obese and years took off their lifespan. Most are a sad sight. More like we're a sad sight. The shift to this world has taken away the fat and unhealthiness that many of my world faced. My understanding goes as far as liking food, but I don't understand how someone could end up getting to a 250+ pound mark at 5'8". They were like a slave to the fast food industry. More often than not, they'd probably go there for comfort. It's called comfort food for a reason. Jasmine, if you ate food like this every day, you'd balloon to a weight that is detrimental to your health. It's okay to have this stuff once in a while, but not every day. She glares at me like a hungry animal would if you'd try to take its food away. It's all about perspective, in the end. It's different for me than it is for her. My second plate finally arrives, and the look on the waiter's face tells me everything. It's a sight that a player-owned and ran restaurant would see, but Jasmine is a messy eater. Oh, stop looking at me with those judgmental eyes. This is the first good food I had since we started this damn trip. I'm not judging her, not harshly anyway. It could have been worse. POV, Sarah Adamo. Location, in bedroom. Time, 5:30 p.m. Sally and I will have to start searching the city starting tomorrow. There is no way we'll run into each other the 1 or 2 times we'll be leaving this room. Why didn't you plan for something on how to find each other when she gets here? You're usually pretty good at planning things like that. She's hurt my ego and pride more than I'd care to admit with that comment. Hailey has to be here by now, and if she's not here, she'll be here by tomorrow. There is no way that they'd take this long getting here. The closest teleportation gate is about a day and a half away. The border city doesn't have one. I can't plan for everything, Sally. Missing the small things when planning for the big picture is common. She's right, though. I should have made a plan. It's not that big of a deal. Searching around town for a day doesn't sound all that bad. Not like there are many places for them to go. The first step should be looking into inns and asking who has paid for rooms. Don't worry. I'm already thinking of ideas and figuring out how we can find them. One problem is I don't know what Jasmine looks like. She's completely unknown to me, and that could be a slight problem. The odds of them being together is high, but you never know. They might split up. See, all you needed was a little motivation. Aren't I great? My chuckles can't be stopped from surfacing. She has a humorous edge to her voice, one that shows she's just playing. Hayley and Jasmine won't be easy to find, but it's not like it'll be impossible. Hopefully, Hayley will recognize me like last time. That way, I won't have to search for her, but that's dumb on my end. She only knew it was me from my sword. Exactly what did you motivate me with? I might as well have some fun with Sally. These moments between us are few and far between. Her head is lying on my chest, listening to my heart. She lifts her head and looks at me, a mischievous grin that I don't see from her very often. Oh, I don't know, something along the lines of you and me. Interesting. This is the first time she's been aggressive with an advance. She's really grown to trust me. I'm doing something right. My arm coils around her, and I give her a light hug. We've been doing it far more in these last few days than our entire trip together. I don't know, Sally, you seem to cover me in sweat whenever we do this. I'm not sure I like it. My playful tone and tease cause her to move up my body and close the distance between our lips. POV, Jasmine. Location, Border City, in an inn near the city center. Time, 6:15 p.m. The bed bounces in response to my landing on it. I'm full and ready for some actual sleep in a real bed. You remember the plan? Hailey has been drilling the search plan into my head since we finished eating. Cause you need to remember it. It's important that we find them as soon as possible. Yet. I get it already. Let's just go to bed. She smacks my hip, and I respond with a groan. The plan is searching the inns and sparsely populated parts of the city. That's where your brother is likely to be, at least you think so. Rather simple and easy to remember. She thinks I don't take things as seriously as she does. I know when to listen and when to tune out, and that's what makes me smart. The bed across from me bounces and releases a small thump. Hailey is getting ready for bed too, and tomorrow it's back to work. You know I wouldn't beat it into you if you just showed me that you are listening when I talk to you. You have a bad habit of droning on, Hailey. It's not my fault you do that, and anyone would tune you out. Responding to that isn't the smartest thing to do, so I'm not going to. Changing the subject is the smartest thing to do. You told me that the girl your brother is traveling with, Sally, is an ex-slave like me. Why did he accept her despite her past? That's a question that's been on my mind for a while. Most men wouldn't see past that, but he does. She stays quiet, and before I can say anything, she responds. You can ask him when you meet him. I'm sure there is an answer there that isn't as complicated as you're making it out to be. She's right about that. I'm creating scenarios in my head that aren't shining favorably on her brother. The ex-slave in me is telling me that he's using Sally. I know it's wrong, but I can't help it. A/N, below this line, I'll be keeping Sarah's player information. That way, I won't have to place it into the story above anymore. It takes about 180 words up. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.193. EXP, 3/100%. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden. Stats: Strength 7095, Endurance 7045, Dexterity 7215, Speed 8240, Focus 19660. Mana Aura Control, 6/100%. Health, 76,560,000/76,560,000,000 Mana, 216,600,000/216,600,000,000. Stat Points, 30 Armor Rating, 500. Inventory Dice of Wayland, Divine, Hardened Tree Sap Armor, Very Rare, The Witness, Legendary Sword, Fenrir's Whistle, Divine, Sally's Dresses 5x Camping Gear Food Rations 4x Dried Meat 4x Fishing Poles 2x Fish 8x Festival Garbs 2x. Passive Perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend, destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver and Overachiever. Active Skills. Heaven's Light LVL.59325/5900, Protected by Heaven LVL.59225/5900/LVL.774600/130000, Parry LVL.5380/5300, Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A Winged Glory, Angelic Flight, Divine Pressure, Exertion, Divinity Pulse, Controlled Fun.